The water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakah Hakwadash Barakathum. Peace and blessing to the whole elect, 144 and the rest of the 1/3, all my apostles, bishops, elders, Malakim, and GMS who rule well. Shalom, shalom. The water to the speckled bird, Akwathim, shalom. But always praise, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Hakwadash Barakathum. That's right. Well, the Iranians are hardcore and strong. You Americans are weak. And you know your military is no good because you got all them funny dunnies and weirdos and wackos and psychos and all that in your wannabe military, which is called a psych house, a sane asylum, trying to take out Iran for the oil. That's all. Resources. But guess what? You starting all these wars and you're not going to get anything. Okay? You're getting nothing. You don't have Venezuela, nothing. Okay, now Russia and China, Pakistan, India, North Korea, Brazil, everybody coming in against you, America, Babylon itself. So we're going to show you what the Iranians is about, okay, and let you know what time it is in the battlefield. Yeah.
Really is. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use of purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarship, research, and prophecy. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. As always, I'll give all the praises and the glory to the Heavenly Father,
Yahweh. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai.
Babylonian'S, to the apostles, to the elders, to the bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, shalom to the brothers out there.
No, we're going to take it back.
Fair use. As always, I'll give all the praises and the glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Babylonian'S, to the apostles, to the elders, to the bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, shalom to the brothers out there that are actually preaching and prophesying this truth, this word. In the name of the Heavenly Father, shalom to Israel, to the true children of Israel, the hopeful elect, scattered to the four corners of the world. As we always know, the true Israelites are the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade and the descendants of the Native American Indian tribes, today who they call Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans. Those are the true 12 tribes of Israel and the Israelite foreigners that are scattered and mixed amongst the other nations. Shalom to you, to the elect of the Lord's true people. So, the title, How Iran Fights Its Wars as President Trump Hands Wax Feeble. Now, 48 hours ago, just under 48 hours ago, because we're coming up to it probably about 3 hours time, right? So just under 48 hours ago, President Trump, aka Taco, right? As they give that nickname, right? Trump always chickens out. He gave this warning out to Iran, right? He made this threat, overnight threat. He put up a massive thing on what you call it, on his Truth channel. He put up a massive message, right, on his Truth channel, saying that, hey.
And see, Trump ain't nothing but a sucker. You dig? An idiot, parasitic monster. Okay, this is Nero 47. This is Nero doing the same thing over again, screwing things around and trying to find a scapegoat for what it has done, like the Epstein. Because we already know what the fuck this war is about. The Epstein and resources and that dumbass dollar and trying to keep China and everybody else out. But you're attacking, but you won't win. Okay? America, Babylon, bitter. You're done. Plain and simple. But we're going to show you, like I said, we're going to show you what type of people you are going against, dumbass America, and you won't win. You neither, Israel. Dumb motherfucker.
He's going to obliterate Iran's power plants, right? And all of its oil fields and this and that. So he went into a massive threat last night, just under 48 hours ago, right? This is President Taco, right? So this is what he said anyway. Let's play what he said. The news reports will tell you what he said.
right now, just getting an alert. And
I'll let you know now, this is Elder Yakanan. Elder Yakanan, okay? He lives over in British, London, okay? He's one of the elders, okay? Yakanan, very powerful elder, very intelligent, very powerful spiritual. The Ruach HaKodesh is in this brother, just like us, and he's strong, okay? Elder Yakanan.
Now President Trump is talking about escalating it even further. What he specifically said is that if Iran doesn't fully open the Straits of Hormuz, not partially open it, not just to its allies, not just to its regular customers like China, then the United States will respond, according to President Trump, starting from 11:45 p.m. GMT tomorrow, by obliterating power plants in Iran, starting with the biggest one. The Iranians immediately responded saying, if our infrastructure is attacked, we will attack infrastructure, and reiterated a threat. This was from a colonel in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and specifically talked about desalinization and targeting desalination facilities in the Gulf. Now, the Gulf states are very dependent on desalination. Just to look at Qatar. Qatar gets 99% of its drinking water by extracting it from the sea and taking the salt out of it. Bahrain, more than 90% of its drinking water comes from desalination plants. So they're now talking about hitting each other where it hurts. In the same way that Vladimir Putin targeted the power grid in Ukraine because Ukraine is cold and freezing, and he would do these attacks in the winter to make the people suffer. President Trump is now threatening to squeeze the people of Iran and the government by cutting off the power, as Dominic was just saying, and the Iranians saying, well, we can make the deserts dry and cut off the drinking.
So that was just under 48 hours ago, right? Trump made that. That was Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. Yeah, Saturday night, right? It was 11:45 p.m. Sunday night. So Monday morning, right? Come Monday morning, this is what Trump is saying now, right? This is several hours ago, right? So this is what he said Monday morning, right? So just under 48 hours, he made that threat. I'm going to blow up everything if you don't open up the Straits of Hormuz and this and that, and President Taco for you, right? And this is what he said a few hours ago.
Breaking news from the United States. The President, Donald Trump, has just posted on his Truth Social something that could turn out to be very important. We're going to read it in full. It's just come through. Let's read it together.
Fuck Trump.
I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East.
Lies.
Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
President Donald J. Trump, right? So this is nice. So now he's retracting it, right? Saying, oh, he's in talks with somebody in Iran. He says, I'm pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations, right? Total, utter bullshit, right? He shit his pants, right? So this is the real story. Trump says Iran has one more chance at peace as Tehran calls reports of the US talks fake news, right? They ain't talking to no one. Iran said they're not talking to nobody, right? So Donald Trump says the US has and Iran has held talks on the complete and total resolution of hostilities. Right on his social media platform, Trump says he's postponed threatened strikes on Iranian power plants, right? However, Iran's parliament speaker denies discussions have taken place, saying fake news is being used to manipulate what? The oil markets, right? Because this man doesn't know what he's doing. This man is like what that guy keeps saying. He is the deranged occupant of the White House, right? So that's what he's doing, right? So they said Iran says pure fake news. They ain't speaking to nobody. This is war. These Iranians are in it for the long haul. And I'm going to show you why. Speaking of these initial social media posts, Trump says Iran has one more chance at peace, right? So the head-spinning developments highlight how fast-moving and unpredictable this war has become. Our Western correspondent says on Saturday night, Trump had given Iran, a 48-hour deadline to reopen the Straits of Hormuz, or he said the US would obliterate Iranian power plants. So he's taking all of that back now, right? Let me tell you, man, people are starting to whisper in this devil's ear, right, to let him know how serious these Iranians are and how dangerous they are, right? So let me just show you, right? Now, I want to show you a little clip. This is 1985, right? This is the Iraq-Iranian war, right? Now, remember, this is the war that America propagated by arming Saddam Hussein. That's when Saddam Hussein was America and the West's best friend. They armed Saddam Hussein with untold weapons of, even weapons of mass destruction. He actually had that at that time, because Saddam Hussein had biological weapons which they used against the Iranians in that 8-year war. This was an 8 years war. 8 years, remember. They was at war with the Iranians, right? And the Iraqis were being fully backed by the West, because at that time Saddam was a perfect puppet for the West, right? They was armed by the West. They was given intelligence by the West. They was aided by the West. But yet still, Iran defeated the mothers, right? I'm going to show you a little clip. Listen to this news reporter here, right? This is Amanpour's archive, right? I want to listen to how this news reporter is going to tell you how this war kind of went down, right?
Iraqi generals say they come at us like madmen. Iraq thought Iran would be a pushover when it decided to attack in 1980. It was a...
Iraqi generals said that the Iranians came at them like a madman. They thought that the Iranians were going to be a pushover. The exact same thing that Trump was thinking and Israel was thinking today, all right? But I'm telling you, someone's given them a copy of this this video here to say, look, these are the guys you're up against, right? But anyway, I'll let it play out. So like
Iraq thought Iran would be a... Iraqi generals say they come at us like madmen. Iraqi generals say they come at us like madmen. Iraq thought Iran would be a pushover when it decided to attack in 1980. It was a major blunder. Iraq's invasion generated nationalism in Iran and actually helped Ayatollah Khomeini consolidate his power.
Same thing we're seeing today. It's generated nationalism in Iran. They've consolidated power. The people have come together in Iran, even though that was initially against the government. They've come together in Iran, all right? And they are going to fight to the death. No different. So Iraq fought the same thing in 1980 when they invaded Iran. Same thing that America and Israel is doing today. It was America and Israel and the rest of these Western nations that had backed and armed Iraq to invade Iran. But it was the biggest mistake they made. And the same thing is happening today, except this war, Lord willing, is going to lead us to the war of Armageddon. Biggest mistake they made.
We must continue our struggle against Iraqi government until final victory, and we don't accept any imposed peace.
Yeah. He said we don't accept any imposed peace. Remember, this is in 1985, the war against Iraq. He said it was the biggest mistake that they made. All right, these Iraqis.
And actually helped Ayatollah Khomeini consolidate his power.
We must continue our struggle against Iraqi government until final victory, and we don't accept any imposed peace.
The Ayatollah turned the conflict into a crusade for God, guaranteeing a place in heaven for those who died in the fight against Iraq. Young boys and old men formed special units and hurled themselves at the enemy, at tanks, on landmines. In one battle, 25,000 Iranian soldiers squared off against Iraqi tanks and artillery. A few hours later, only 250 Iranians were alive.
You understand what these people are like? They're martyrs. They will die for their cause. They're not like these Americans that are trying to survive a war. They're going into this war to die for their cause because they believe in their cause. It's their homeland. These are the Persians. He said 25,000 Iranians went up against Iraqi tanks and rocket launchers and to take them down, and only 250 survived. These people are not messing around. Let me just play that back again for you. They're not messing around. They said the young and the old, everyone come together, and we're seeing the same thing happen today.
Formed special unit.
Sorry.